So finally, Kevin, if you had one key piece of advice that you could give to anyone looking to improve their presentation skills, what would that be?
So, just like so many things in our lives, there, I feel like there's an art and a science to it. Whether it's teaching or designing visuals, there's an art and a science. And with visual design, some people just naturally have a good eye for design. Jeremy, you said that about your wife, like she just
Hmm.
has an eye for it, right? And
Yep.
I feel like that is the art of design, and it's hard to teach that. Some people just have that. But with visual design, there's also a science to it. And the science are those things that I mentioned, like understanding what white space is and how to use it and the value of it, understanding how to select fonts, knowing how important contrast is, being intentional about your visuals. So the science is kind of learning some of those basic visual design principles, and it doesn't mean you have to get a degree in it. You can just learn those basic principles, and you can really sort of have the science under your belt. And I've seen it with my own students, how they, at the start of this graduate class I teach, how they will say my visual design skills are terrible. And by the end, it's such a transformation because they've learned some of these basic principles. So, my advice is if you're interested in this, and I hope you are, because I feel like visual design is so important. There's a lot of research that shows us that learning can be enhanced. You can have greater gains in learning by having good visuals. So I hope people are interested in it. But my advice would be to just work on learning some of those basic principles. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. I mean, you can just go to Google and do a search, and you'll find YouTube videos or videos on Vimeo that talk about what are some of these basic principles. And there's so many great ways for people to sort of be self-taught on these things, and it can really make a difference in your presentations, in your teaching, and things like that. So I would say, my advice is be aware of how important it is, and then just do a little bit of work to learn some of those principles.
Great. For those that are interested and want to learn more about the things that you've talked about, or even see some work that you've done, what would be the best places to reach you or see some of that work, with your social media tags, or the children's book that you've done and things like that? What can you share with us there?
Sure. Thanks for asking that. So I'm active on Instagram and on Twitter, X. So my social media is just Kevin Smith SD. So at Kevin Smith SD on both of those platforms. I'll also share my website with you. It's kevindsmith.org. So you can go there, and I have links to my socials and links to presentations I've done and things like that. And then, I'd love it if people were interested in learning more about my illustration and my book. If you go to my website, you can find a copy of my book. Here's the book. It's called Yucky. This one's kind of worn out because I've used it so much, but this is the book. I wrote it and illustrated it. It was published in 2023. It's about this girl. I'll put it up there. It's about this girl, Lily, that doesn't like math. She doesn't like math because she thinks it's only about doing calculations, and she has a creative mind. And she has a teacher that helps her see the connection between art and math. And it kind of fuels her fire for, hey, maybe math isn't so yucky. I didn't realize that math involved these things that I was interested in. So yeah, if you'd like a copy of the book, you can go to my website and check it out. And one of the things I do for classrooms is I'll read the book to classrooms. And you can be anywhere. Like I'll just connect with your classroom via Zoom, read the book, and then do some drawing activities with students and talk about the importance of having a positive attitude about math. So yeah, I'd love it if you check that out.